Hi, my name is Glow and welcome to my show. Today I'm reviewing NF Leave Me Alone. Are the words "leave me alone" always directed at his thought? There are some lines where it seems like that might not be the case. For example, the line, "all the fans embrace it," and then in the background "leave me alone," makes the "leave me alone" part sound like it's directed at those fans. That sounds mean, but NF did say he's a little twisted. Or maybe the concept of fame itself is what it's directed at there. And the line, he asked me how I'd been, I sent him this song, and then in the background "leave me alone," makes the command sound like it's directed at the personification of fame. Personifying fame is a cool idea that I personally haven't seen done before in any medium. I'm sure it has been, but I haven't seen it, so it's still a pretty fresh idea. This song is so dense with content. There are so many good quotes just in this rap alone. Too many for me to list here, to be honest, but I think I'll definitely be talking about NF again at some point. This song about OCD is pretty relatable, even though I don't have OCD. Already in the first few lines, he's painted a picture of himself as someone who is generally unpleasant, but also underconfident, lost, and someone who people like me who struggle with mental illness will almost certainly find relatable. First time he says "leave me alone" is the only one we don't have context for. It's an unusual way to start a song, but I guess it gets your attention. Manners missing, travel different, no control. This is the part of the first few lines that kinda makes him sound like a jerk. Time to listen, time to zip it, keep it closed. If someone's listening to this rap, he already has their attention. Maybe this is directed at his own, like a lot of the following lyrics are. My description, highly gifted, take some notes, and lack of interest, why do you visit, fit the whole narrative of I'm famous and people think I'm amazing, but I'm not even really a good person, and even if I was, my mind wouldn't allow me to think I was. I wonder if certain activities trigger his lack of interest and some don't. He talks about rapping being an outlet, so I wonder if his lack of interest ever visits when he's trying to do that. My guess is probably yes. See, I'm inventive, quite the menace, you ain't know. Fits with my previous point, and makes me wonder how much of this is guilt, if any, and how much is self-doubt. I'm always certain I'm not a good person, but all my friends say otherwise. And then the line, well then I'm offended, let's jog your memories. Does he actually get offended by people like me who don't know his story? Probably not. I think he's making a point that he can be oversensitive. Hide my plaques inside the closet, I just can't explain it. My wife tells me that she's proud and I should hang 'em, but I just leave 'em on the ground right next to my self-hatred. It's so detailed, devastating, and relatable. One damaging thing lots of people, even people who don't struggle with mental illness, do is minimizing achievements and maximizing flaws. Then he gives a really good and yet somehow still catchy description of OCD, or, well, mainly the obsession part of it, but that's the part of it that's usually overlooked in media, so that's probably okay. And he does briefly touch on the compulsion part when he says, do the same things, if I don't I'm overwhelmed. Though, maybe I'm being obsessively pedantic, but isn't saying obsessively obsess redundantly redundant? That might be the joke, but I personally don't find it funny. Thoughts are pacing, they go round and round and round, it's so draining. That's maybe the most relatable line for people. Definitely is for me. There's always a really good lead-in to the chorus, too. I got an umbrella for difficult moments, but it don't always open. That actually seems shockingly positive, if you ask me. What is the umbrella? I'm guessing it's some sort of coping mechanism, but that could still be anything from breathing techniques to prescription drugs. Or maybe it's just talking to people. I'm actually a bit jealous. It'd be nice to get back to the point where I could occasionally get through a whole day without crying. When he says, let's move on to something else, he's doing something OCD tends to make hard for him. Moving on. I guess that's what he meant by saying he wrestles with his flaws. Hold up my balloons and cover up my face. I can feel them weighing on me every day. I should should let him go and watch him float away. I'm amazed he even has hope that that's possible. Of course it would be hard, but the faith it takes to believe it's possible isn't something I or a lot of other people even have. It's actually pretty impressive. And it's also pretty impressive. And it's also pretty impressive how positive this song actually manages to be. There's even some bragging about his odd business strategy, but then again, even that sounds somewhat self-deprecating. We're so underrated, we're so underrated that they're looking over our numbers, Nathan. I didn't know his name was Nathan. I like that name. I'm kind of phony, but I don't really show it. Yeah, I think everyone can relate to that. He raps about his creative process and how that's an outlet for him. I wonder how much it helps him or if it ever kinda hurts. I mean, being obsessed with something good is still obsession, and obsession is a bad thing. I hate to be different, but I hate to be normal. Don't we all? I think everyone's trying to find themselves and carve out who they are as an individual, but also trying to fit in, and sometimes those things directly conflict with each other. Overall, this is a great song, and like I said, I will definitely be, and I think I should definitely talk about NF's work again at some point. Tell me if I'm wrong.